Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford is going down 13th of September in Las Vegas. The fight will be live on Netflix. Wow. I see they're using that Jake Paul, Mike Tyson blueprint. Do you know what I mean? They're following in that, do you know what I mean, in that direction. I think that's smart. Do you know what I mean? Netflix, one of the biggest streaming platforms in the world, if not the biggest. Do you know what I mean? Like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul did like what? 200 million people watching that? Do you know what I mean? I don't think Mike Tyson. I don't think Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez will do those numbers, because I just feel like Jake Paul as an influencer has got that mass global appeal. And of course, Mike Tyson is an icon. I'm not really too excited about this fight. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how you feel at home, but me, I'm not really that hyped up. Maybe I have to wait until the fight gets a little bit closer. Do you know what I mean? Like, but normally, yeah, when there's a big fight announced between two great fighters, do you know what I mean? I get the butterflies. I get hyped about it, but there's just something about these fights that is just not taking off, innit? Do you know what I mean? We've been knowing about these ongoing negotiations. Do you know what I mean? They've been feeding us little snippets, like, for the last 18 months, like, yo, Crawford versus Canelo, like, do you know what I mean? We got a little bit excited, and then we saw how Bud performed against Israel Medrimov at 154, and everyone was like, yo, mate, if Crawford is struggling against Israel Medrimov at 154, how the hell can he take on Canelo at 168? Do you know what I mean? He's jumping up 2 weight classes. Like, that's crazy. Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking the same. I'm like, yo, I saw Canelo, yeah, as great. So no, Crawford, as great Crawford is. Like, Crawford is like in my top 10 of all time, greatest of all time. He's up there. So is Canelo, by the way. You know, Canelo as well, yeah. I'm just thinking, yo, like, Crawford was eating some left hands for Medrimov. Medrimov was touching Crawford up. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, if Medrimov is doing that, man, if Canelo cuts off that ring, it might be good night for my boy Bud, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think, like, yo, how can Bud win? Like, it's going to have to be a stick and move type of job. On the other hand, Canelo, let's be real, his last fight against William Skull, man, how boring was that? That was one of the most boring fights I've ever watched in my life. Like, I'm being real. I nearly fell asleep. That was boring. And also, Canelo, what was worrying is Canelo didn't look interested. He just looked like he wasn't feeling it at all. Maybe that's because of William Skull and his style. And Canelo was like, you know what? I'm just going to cruise through this fight. I'm going to win on points. I'm not even going to bother breaking a sweat. Because in that ring, when I was watching it, Canelo looked like he aged 10 years. His feet were slow. He looked sluggish, ragged. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't the smooth vintage Canelo performance, but like I said, maybe it's the levels in it. Maybe going in that ring against Crawford will bring that next level out of Canelo. Do you know what I mean? We might see the real Canelo, do you know what I mean, against Terrence Crawford. But yeah, man, I'm just not excited, man. I'm just not excited. And I was wondering as well, like, with the recent performances from Canelo, where everyone's saying, yo, Canelo, like, he's on the decline, like, he's not the fighter that he was maybe 5 years ago. He hasn't knocked anyone out for 3 years, etc., etc. Like, how much credit is Crawford actually gonna get if he does defeat Canelo by points? And I feel like because Canelo is on a little bit of a decline, I feel like Terrence Crawford is not really gonna get the credit that he deserves if he does defeat Canelo. Like, if Crawford goes in there and schools Canelo, like, does a boxing masterclass on Canelo, like, just outboxes him the whole night, wins a unanimous decision, I think people are going to put the excuse out there that, oh, Canelo was on his way out anyway. Canelo's washed anyway. Not washed, but you know what? They'll say Canelo's on the decline. Canelo hasn't performed well for the last 3 years. It hasn't looked the same. There's going to be excuses. So, from a Terrence Crawford point of view, I'm thinking like, yo, like, you might go in there and get hurt. Even if you win, yeah, like, you might not even get the full credit that you deserve, because people are going to make up excuses for Canelo. Do you know what I mean? And if Canelo goes in there and absolutely obliterates Crawford and knocks him out, Canelo doesn't get any credit either. Do you know what I mean? Canelo won't get any credit because people are going to be like, yo, you're fighting someone who had to move up from 147. Do you know what I mean? Crawford is fought all the way down to 135, or I believe, or 130. Do you know what I mean? Look at the weight classes that he's jumped up to, all the way to 168. So if Canelo smokes Bud, people are going to be like, yep, that's normal. We expected that. Do you know what I mean? So Canelo doesn't get any credit. Do you know what I mean? But what Canelo is getting is a lot of money from Turkey Al Sheikh, and I guess for him that is enough. Do you know? And I think Canelo also want to show to people like, yo, is this Terrence Crawford? Is this the guy that you think is the big man that can take on me? All right, I want to show you. I think you guys must have forgot. Like, look at my resume. I've fought everyone. And he's right. Canelo's fought absolutely everyone, from the Triple G's to the Mark Jacobs. Like, he's fought everyone, you know? Caleb Plant, Shane Mosley, Mayweather, Canelo's fought everyone. Do you know what I mean? He's taking on all comers. So I don't even like this narrative that's being set. Like, oh, Canelo's ducking Benavidez, he ducked Benavidez. Listen, man, Canelo's fought everyone, man. Do you know what I mean? He maybe didn't want to fight Benavidez for personal reasons. I don't know, man. Them guys have beef, man. You know what I mean? But listen, let me know what you think in the comments. Crawford, Canelo, I'm not really feeling it at the moment. Let me know in the comments how you feeling it. And let me also know who you think is going to win the fight. For me, as of right now, my prediction, I think Canelo is going to be too big, too strong. So I'm leaning towards the bigger, stronger fighter. But listen, Terrence Crawford is one of my favorite fighters of all time. So if he pulls it out of the bag, I'm not going to be surprised either. But listen, as the fight gets closer, we're going to start doing the fight breakdowns, fight analysis, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's when my juices will start floating a bit. Do you know what I mean? But as for now, not feeling it. Listen, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. Please don't forget to smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, because that's the only way you're going to help us to grow. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.